Do your legs wake you up in the middle of the night with cramps so painful you can barely breathe? Have you experienced that sudden, vicious tightening in your calf or thigh that leaves you grabbing at your leg, desperate for relief? If you're nodding yes right now, you're far from alone. Millions of people over 70 deal with leg cramps that disrupt their sleep, limit their activities, and leave them feeling frustrated and helpless. But what if I told you that the solution isn't hiding in a prescription bottle or an expensive supplement jar? What if it's actually sitting in your produce aisle, waiting for you to discover it? Today, we're going to explore 4 specific vegetables that have remarkable power to prevent and reduce leg cramps. These aren't exotic superfoods you've never heard of or ingredients you can only find in specialty stores. They're simple, familiar vegetables that your grandmother probably cooked with. Vegetables that have been nourishing bodies for generations. But the science behind why they work is fascinating, and understanding that science will help you use these foods strategically to finally get relief from those agonizing cramps. Before we dive into the vegetables themselves, let's talk about what's actually happening when your leg cramps up. Understanding the problem helps you appreciate why these particular foods are so effective. A muscle cramp occurs when a muscle contracts involuntarily and doesn't relax. It's essentially a muscle that's locked in the squeeze position, unable to let go. This can happen for several reasons. And as we age, we become more vulnerable to all of them. First, there's dehydration. As we get older, our sense of thirst diminishes. You might not feel thirsty even when your body desperately needs water. When your muscles don't have enough fluid, they become irritable and prone to cramping. Second, there's mineral imbalance. Your muscles need specific minerals, particularly potassium, magnesium, calcium, and sodium, to contract and relax properly. When these minerals are out of balance, your muscles misfire. Third, there's poor circulation. If blood flow to your legs is restricted, your muscles don't get enough oxygen and nutrients, and waste products like lactic acid build up. This creates the perfect environment for cramps. Finally, there's inflammation. That chronic, low-level inflammation that so many of us carry as we age. Inflamed tissues are more sensitive and more likely to spasm. Now, here's the beautiful thing about the 4 vegetables we're going to discuss. Each one addresses multiple aspects of this problem. They're not one-dimensional solutions. They work together, synergistically, to hydrate your muscles, restore mineral balance, improve circulation, and calm inflammation. Let's start with the first one. Celery might seem like an unlikely hero. It's often dismissed as nothing more than a crunchy vessel for peanut butter or a flavoring for soup. But celery is actually one of the most powerful foods you can eat for preventing leg cramps. And here's why. Celery is extraordinarily high in water content, over 95% water, but it's not just any water. It's structured water that contains electrolytes, the minerals your muscles need to function properly. When you eat celery, you're not just hydrating your body the way you would by drinking plain water. You're hydrating at a cellular level with perfectly balanced minerals that go right to work. Celery is particularly rich in sodium, which might surprise you since we're always told to avoid sodium. But natural sodium from vegetables is completely different from the processed sodium in packaged foods. Natural sodium helps maintain the fluid balance inside and outside your cells. It works in partnership with potassium to regulate muscle contractions. Celery also contains significant amounts of potassium and magnesium, creating a natural electrolyte blend that's perfectly designed for muscle health. But there's more. Celery contains unique compounds called phytonutrients that have powerful anti-inflammatory effects. They calm irritated muscle tissue and reduce the sensitivity that makes muscles prone to cramping. Celery also contains natural nitrates, compounds that improve blood flow by helping your blood vessels relax and dilate. Better blood flow means more oxygen and nutrients reaching your leg muscles and more efficient removal of waste products. How should you use celery? The simplest way is just to eat it raw. A few stalks of celery as a mid-morning or mid-afternoon snack can make a real difference. If you find raw celery too bland, try it with a small amount of almond butter or hummus. You can also add celery to soups and stews, where its flavor mellows and blends beautifully with other ingredients. If you have a juicer, celery juice has become popular for good reason. Drinking fresh celery juice on an empty stomach in the morning delivers a concentrated dose of all those beneficial compounds directly to your system. If straight celery juice is too intense for you, blend it with a little apple or cucumber to improve the taste. Now let's move to our second vegetable, sweet potatoes. These golden, delicious tubers are absolute powerhouses for preventing muscle cramps. Sweet potatoes are exceptionally rich in potassium, even more so than bananas, which everyone thinks of as the go-to potassium food. One medium sweet potato contains more than 400 milligrams of potassium. Why does this matter so much for leg cramps? Because potassium is essential for muscle relaxation. When potassium levels are low, muscles can contract, but they struggle to release. That's literally what a cramp is, a muscle that can't let go. Many older adults are unknowingly deficient in potassium. Certain medications, particularly diuretics for blood pressure or heart conditions, can deplete potassium. Even if you're not on these medications, the standard diet many people eat doesn't provide enough potassium-rich foods. Sweet potatoes fill that gap beautifully. They also provide a good amount of magnesium, another mineral that's absolutely critical for preventing cramps. Magnesium works alongside potassium to regulate muscle contractions and relaxations. Think of them as partners in a dance. Potassium helps the muscle relax. Magnesium helps coordinate the whole process. Sweet potatoes have another advantage that's particularly important for preventing nighttime cramps. They're complex carbohydrates with a low glycemic index. This means they release energy slowly and steadily into your bloodstream. When your blood sugar spikes and then crashes, as it does with simple sugars, it can trigger dehydration and electrolyte imbalances. Sweet potatoes help stabilize blood sugar, which in turn helps maintain proper hydration and mineral balance through the night. The antioxidants in sweet potatoes, particularly beta-carotene, which gives them their orange color, also fight inflammation throughout your body, including in your muscle tissue. Less inflammation means less irritability, less sensitivity, and fewer cramps. Sweet potatoes support circulation too. They contain vitamin C, which helps maintain the health and flexibility of your blood vessels, ensuring good blood flow to your legs. The best way to prepare sweet potatoes is to roast them or bake them. When you roast sweet potatoes, their natural sugars caramelize slightly, making them deliciously sweet without adding anything. Simply cut them into cubes or wedges, toss with a little olive oil and a pinch of sea salt, and roast at 400 degrees for about 30 minutes until they're tender and golden. You can also mash them just like regular potatoes, though they're so naturally flavorful they don't need butter or cream. Try to eat sweet potatoes several times a week. They're versatile enough to work as a side dish with any meal, and unlike some vegetables that people find boring, sweet potatoes are genuinely delicious. Our third vegetable is beets, and these deep purple roots are particularly powerful for improving circulation, which is crucial for preventing cramps. Beets are nature's richest source of dietary nitrates. Now, you might have heard that nitrates are bad for you. But again, there's a huge difference between natural nitrates from vegetables and the synthetic nitrites added to processed meats. Natural nitrates from beets are converted in your body into nitric oxide, a molecule that has profound effects on your vascular system. Nitric oxide causes your blood vessels to relax and widen, improving blood flow throughout your body. When blood flows more easily to your legs, your muscles get more oxygen, more nutrients, and better waste removal. This is exactly what cramping muscles need. Many people who start eating beets regularly report not just fewer cramps but also more energy and stamina because their circulation has improved so dramatically. Beets also provide potassium, magnesium, and calcium, the trifecta of minerals needed for proper muscle function. The magnesium in beets is particularly bioavailable, meaning your body can absorb and use it efficiently. Calcium plays an important role too, even though we usually think of it for bone health. Calcium is actually involved in the signal that tells a muscle to contract. When calcium levels are properly balanced with magnesium and potassium, that signaling system works smoothly without misfiring. The betalains in beets, the compounds that give them their distinctive color, are powerful anti-inflammatory agents. They reduce inflammation at the cellular level, calming irritated tissues and making muscles less reactive and less prone to spasming. For people who experience cramps after physical activity, the anti-inflammatory effects of beets can be particularly helpful in preventing that post-exercise cramping. You can eat beets in many forms. Roasted beets are sweet and earthy, wonderful in salads or as a side dish. To roast them, trim off the greens, wrap the whole beets in foil, and roast at 400 degrees for about 45 minutes until they're tender when pierced with a fork. Once they cool slightly, the skins slip right off. You can also steam beets or boil them, though roasting concentrates their flavor beautifully. If you don't like the texture of cooked beets, try beet juice. You can buy it at health food stores or juice fresh beets at home. Some people find the earthy taste intense, so mixing beet juice with apple or carrot juice makes it more palatable. Even a small glass of beet juice a few times a week can make a noticeable difference in circulation and cramp frequency. Finally, we come to spinach. And this leafy green might be the most comprehensive anti-cramp food of all. Spinach is loaded with magnesium, and magnesium deficiency is one of the most common causes of muscle cramps in older adults. Magnesium has a calming effect on nerves and muscles. It literally helps quiet overactive nerve signals that can trigger cramps. 1 cup of cooked spinach provides about a quarter of your daily magnesium needs. Spinach also contains significant potassium and calcium, along with vitamins that support muscle and nerve health. The calcium in spinach works with magnesium to regulate muscle contractions. When these minerals are in balance, your muscles contract when they should and relax when they should, instead of getting stuck in that painful cramping state. The vitamin K in spinach supports proper calcium utilization, making sure calcium goes where it's needed rather than depositing in soft tissues. Like beets, spinach contains natural nitrates that boost nitric oxide production and improve circulation. Better circulation means your leg muscles stay well oxygenated and well nourished, making cramps far less likely. The antioxidants and anti-inflammatory compounds in spinach work to reduce muscle sensitivity and irritation. One challenge with spinach is that many people don't enjoy it raw in large quantities. And cooked spinach can seem slimy if it's not prepared well. Here's the secret to making spinach delicious and easy to eat regularly. Sauté it quickly in a little olive oil with garlic. The high heat evaporates excess moisture, concentrating the flavor. Within just 2 or 3 minutes, you'll have tender, flavorful spinach that you can serve as a side dish or mix into scrambled eggs, soups, or pasta. You can also add fresh spinach to smoothies. When blended with fruit, you don't taste the spinach at all, but you get all the nutritional benefits. A handful of spinach in a morning smoothie, with banana, berries, and a little yogurt, is an easy, delicious way to boost your magnesium intake. Now that you know these 4 vegetables and why they work, let's talk about how to incorporate them into your daily routine for maximum benefit. The key is consistency. Eating a huge spinach salad once a month won't prevent cramps, but eating some combination of these vegetables most days of the week absolutely will make a difference. Start simple. This week, commit to adding just one of these vegetables to your daily diet. Maybe you start each morning with a few stalks of celery. Or maybe you roast a large batch of sweet potatoes on Sunday and eat them throughout the week. Perhaps you buy some fresh beet juice and have a small glass every other day. Choose whichever vegetable appeals to you most and make it a habit. Once that feels natural and easy, add a second vegetable, then a third. You don't need to eat all 4 every single day, though you certainly can if you enjoy them. The goal is variety and consistency. Maybe Monday and Wednesday you focus on sweet potatoes and spinach. Tuesday and Thursday you eat celery and beets. Find a rhythm that works for your tastes and your schedule. Pay attention to timing too. If you tend to get cramps at night, make sure you're eating these mineral-rich vegetables with your dinner or as an evening snack. If you cramp during or after physical activity, Eat them earlier in the day so those nutrients are available when your muscles need them. Hydration matters too. These vegetables work best when you're also drinking adequate water throughout the day. Don't wait until you're thirsty. Sip water regularly, and remember that the high water content in celery and other vegetables counts toward your hydration. Many people start noticing a difference within just a few days of adding these vegetables to their diet. The cramps may not disappear completely right away, but they often become less frequent or less severe. Within 2 or 3 weeks of consistent eating, most people experience dramatic improvement. Some find their cramps vanish entirely. Others still get an occasional cramp, but nothing like the regular, debilitating spasms they were experiencing before. Beyond preventing cramps, you'll likely notice other benefits. More energy because your circulation has improved. Better sleep because you're not being jolted awake by pain. Possibly even improvements in blood pressure, digestion, and overall sense of well-being. When you nourish your body with the minerals and compounds it actually needs, everything functions better. I want you to think about what life could look like without the constant fear of leg cramps. Imagine sleeping through the night peacefully, waking up rested instead of exhausted from pain. Picture yourself able to go for a walk or work in your garden without worrying that your legs will seize up afterward. Consider the relief of knowing you have a simple, natural, effective solution that doesn't involve medications or side effects. That relief is absolutely within your reach. It starts in the produce section of your grocery store. 4 simple vegetables. Celery for hydration and electrolyte balance. Sweet potatoes for potassium and steady energy. Beets for circulation and inflammation control. Spinach for magnesium and comprehensive muscle support. Together, they create a powerful defense against leg cramps, addressing every underlying cause and giving your muscles exactly what they need to stay relaxed and healthy. So here's your assignment. Before you go to bed tonight, plan tomorrow's meals to include at least one of these 4 vegetables. Write it down. Put it on your shopping list if you need to buy it. Then follow through. Eat that vegetable. Notice how you feel. Pay attention over the next few nights to whether your cramps improve. I suspect you'll be pleasantly surprised. Then keep going. Make these vegetables regular features in your diet. Share what you're learning with friends who struggle with cramps. Encourage them to try this natural approach. Your experience and your results might be exactly what someone else needs to hear to finally find relief themselves. Your body has an extraordinary capacity to heal and restore itself when you give it the right tools. These 4 vegetables are powerful tools, gifts from the earth that have been sustaining human health for thousands of years. Trust in their power. Trust in your body's ability to respond. And most of all, trust that you deserve to live free from pain, sleeping peacefully through the night, moving comfortably through your days. That freedom is waiting for you in the produce aisle. All you have to do is reach for it.